Hello and welcome to our Raynham Channel's open house. We're calling it live on the Raynham red carpet. I'm Pat Riley, and our first guest for our live show is Marie Smith. Welcome, Marie.
Thank you very much, Pat.
This is an exciting event.
It most certainly is. This is our second anniversary. I
Yes.
can't believe that the time has gone by so fast.
It's amazing.
Second year, and we are doing great here on the red carpet with all our lovely guests that we have in front of us here. And we do expect to have more people coming in, so I'm sure these seats are going to rotate quite a bit.
And if anybody is watching, they still have time to come on down here to Raynham Middle School, where our studio is located. We're having a little live show now, but at 7 o'clock we're going to have the premiere of Raynham, which is the documentary that we have all ready to go.
That's right. And that documentary took hours and hours to prepare. So I'm looking forward to seeing the first hour, and I'm sure it will be continuously playing after that. But I'm looking forward to it. Really am.
Absolutely. Now, Marie, just for a little bit of background, tell us how the Raynham Channel came about.
Well, Pat, I think you should be able to do that better than I since you've been running this show for quite some time. But at any rate, we started because we wanted to set up a studio of our own. And we looked and looked for a place to have it. And lo and behold, the Raynham Middle School had a vacant area that was used way back as a technology room. They graciously allowed us to use it. And here we are, studio all set up. And Michael Halen, who's our executive director, has done a fantastic job. He now has two others working for him, and he is getting interns by the dozen. I say interns by the dozen. And they seem to all want to come to Raynham.
And we now have, obviously, since we've gone on our own, is a Raynham channel. We have two channels, actually. Channel 9, which is the local community access channel,
Right.
and 98, which is the municipal channel for all of the town meetings and such.
And just to note, we are a nonprofit. Therefore, we can have sponsors in which we graciously and hopefully encourage everybody to be a sponsor. Businesses can join us at any time that they wish also and sponsor programs, which they do for some of them. And I'd just like to encourage more of the businesses to get involved.
And anybody in the community can come and participate.
That's
if
correct.
you want to learn about cable, learn about the Raynham channel, want to put on your own program or help out with another program,
All
whatever
you
you'd
have
like
to do is come on down and sign up and be a member. I think it's $10 to be a member. And you can put shows on of your own. You can take cameras out. We do allow that. If there's an event that you wish to film that we're not doing, you can take the camera out, do the event, and then we'll come in and we'll play it for you.
And I'm
we
sure
do
people
like
have
it.
noticed, Marie, but under Michael's leadership, the number of programming, the amount of programming is so expanded.
It
We've got
is.
so many different programs now.
It is.
And it's the Raynham channel 24/7.
Yes, and as much as we can get, we want. Because we'll fill the time. We've got a lot of time to fill.
Absolutely.
And we will certainly keep working at it until we get it all filled up.
Well, we want to thank you very much for taking a few
You're
minutes to talk
entirely
to us here
welcome.
on the Raynham red
Raynham
carpet.
red carpet.
And we are going to pause for a moment and come back with Selectman Don McKinnon, who's now hosting, talk about new programs, hosting a new program,
That's
The Good
right.
Old Days, focusing on the history of Raynham.
And it's a great show. I've watched a couple of them, and it's really, really good.
We've had
Mr.
some great
Betancourt was
guests.
on, who did a great job. John Welch was on, who did a good job.
Some of
Lady
our
that's
other
sitting
guests,
right here in
Pat
front
White,
of us.
Barbara Sleezer.
That's right. And the show is really good, really good. And I'm
It
sure
is.
he's going to continue doing that when he has all the time in the world to be home relaxing. You'll be watching Tuesday night. He's not going to let us get away with anything. I'm sure of that. I'm sure of that.
So we'll be back in just a second with Don McKinnon.
Thanks, Pat.
And we will be with Dawn in just a minute, but in the meantime, we have Michael Halen. We were just talking about you, our Raynham director, executive director of the Raynham channel here.
Yes, thank
We're
you
over
for having
2
me.
years now here, Michael.
Yes, over 2 years. January 26, 2010 was the first open house.
First on the live on the
Live on the
Raynham
red
red carpet,
carpet, yeah.
yes. And even prior to opening, Michael, you were the overseer of the project, along with Joe Betancourt helped out converting this room into a studio,
Yep.
state-of-the-art studio.
Joe was in charge of the construction of the studio. I came in the end of November 2009.
Right.
I built the studio in about 6 to 7 weeks. And since then, I was by myself. I was by myself for the first year or so, and early 2011, we had Matt come on as an intern, and then Matt Miller,
Okay.
and then Alan Russell came on in the summer of 2011. Now we currently have myself, Matt Miller's full time, Alan's part time, and we have 6 interns.
Wow.
So.
And where are they from, Michael?
The interns we have now are from Fitchburg State University, Mass Art Institute. We have a volunteer from Curry College, and we have 3 high school students from the Met in Providence.
Excellent.
And this documentary that we're going to be showing shortly was when Alan came on as an intern, he was looking for a project to do, and he took on the history of Raynham, and he spent 3 months interviewing everyone in town. And it started off very small, and everyone he interviewed would say, oh, you have to talk to this person, then talk to this person, and it ended up blowing up very big. So.
Excellent. So you're really pleased that we're going to be able to premiere
Very
that
pleased with
tonight.
showing this tonight. Yeah.
And then the subsequent episodes will be shown on the following Wednesdays?
Yep. So tonight at 7, and then next Wednesday and every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Channel 9.
At some point, will people be able to see this episode again, the one that we're going to premiere tonight?
Yep. So after a month from now, we'll re-air them all again, and they'll probably just air on a weekly basis, rotating. A gentleman from Taunton called me today and wanted to watch it, but he can't because he lives in Taunton. See, that's what one of the advantages of living in Raynham.
I know.
You get to watch the documentary in the Raynham channel.
Well, maybe if he knows somebody in Raynham, he can come and stay with them, visit.
Well, we are streaming live on the website, but he doesn't have internet access, so he's enough.
All right. So what would you like people out there to know about the Raynham channel, Michael?
I'd like more people to come in and do more stuff. We have many people in town. Doug Bingham does a show about history. Don McKinnon does a show about history. We do a show about local businesses, local restaurants. I sent Matt Miller and Alan Russell to Vermont for a week to do shows up there. Local baseball games, softball, basketball, middle school concerts. If you want to do something, just give me a call and we'll make it happen somehow.
All of our activities in the schools that
Yep.
you've covered, so that's really great.
Yep. And I think now it's time for Dawn to come on.
I hope so. We'll be back in a moment, and hopefully it'll be Dawn McKinnon. Dawn. Open.
Another show, competition.
We're back here, and it is Dawn McKinnon.
We
Welcome,
don't need
Dawn.
competition, Pat.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you very
We're
much
live
for the
on
invite.
Raynham red
It's
carpet.
nice to be here. I'm sure there'll be a few more coming along.
Hopefully,
And
yes.
Alan did a lot of work on this.
He did. You were interviewed?
Yes, I was, and I was checking with Alan just now, and evidently Charlie Crowley had other things he couldn't be, but Billy Hanna was. So Billy Hanna is the historian of the city of Taunton. But what most people understand is that Raynham was Taunton for until 1731. I think that was the year you graduated from high school. Oh, I was there. I remember it.
Dawn, tell us a little bit about your new program, The Good Old Days, because this is all part of an emphasis on
Yeah,
the
I kinda-
history of Raynham.
Yeah, I kind of had an idea I knew really almost the last year off and on, Catherine and I discussed it about whether I would run again. And I never say it until after my birthday, which is January. Then you give people enough time to run, so they'll have enough time to do that. But I just looked it up today, and I think we go back almost 8 months that we've started that show. It was These Are the Good Old Days, Those Are the Good Old Days. So we're trying to get Michael to come up with a couple of bucks and get that song
Right.
out of, what is it?
All
in the Family. You know that
whatever,
one
you know
that says,
song?
we don't have to sing it.
No, that's
No.
okay.
But I said to myself, wouldn't it have been wonderful if we had Walter O'Brien, and if we had, wouldn't it be wonderful if we had the Leonard family back? You know, things that we could have had, we had, and then they were taped over or thrown away.
Right.
And then it was prior to times we could have done that. So the point is, these are the good old days in fashion. Someday these tapes will be shown,
Right.
and we're going to try to get them to the Historical Commission, either up at Gilmore or at the Hannett House, and have tapes and have copies of them available for people. I've tried to get it, and for the most part, we've had the tapes available for those who have come on. Of the people that have come on, it's interesting the way it plays. Most of them, if not all of them, were dedicated either through the Porter Award or through the Town Report. So, and that's just the way it seems to have fallen. I've asked Kevin Ellis to come on next month, for example, but Kevin's got some things going on, so we'll have to work around his schedule a little bit on that. So what we're trying to do is, and I think it was properly reported, oral history of the town of Raynham. People talking about when they were younger or things that went on in the town of Raynham. And if anybody out there is listening and you think you're an expert on the town of Raynham, we had one gentleman, he basically invited himself on, did a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
Got to bring him on again.
Absolutely.
So there
That's
are
the
people
thing,
out
Don.
there.
Everyone that we've had on, we go through the half an hour and we say, oh my gosh, we
I
could
know.
do another half hour.
I know.
So when you retire officially as from the selectmen, we might have to do more than one a month.
No. I did say to Alan, though, and I asked Patrice and I asked Barbara, that now that they've got the setup for the photos to be shown and all, if we can then avail of their kind time for the statues and for Barbara's, Leonard family and the memorabilia, we can bring them back on and show them here on the screen when we do that.
Right.
What I really would like to do also, besides that one a month, I'm finding out one a month is, how did you ever do? I don't know.
One a
how
week?
She did the inside scoop. I'm thinking to myself, one a month, it's taxing me now, you know? And you do it once a week. I don't know how.
Usually, there were times when I was doing 2 or 3 a week. So
Imagine that.
when lots of things were going on.
She and I
yeah,
went
get
to
too many
Stoughton.
things
That was
going
the
on,
first
yeah.
one. What happened,
The
Pat?
very
She invited
first
me,
inside
and then there
scoop.
was an attempt made on my life. I don't mean to complain.
In the middle of, it was Stoughton Studio, in the middle of the show, a light fell, went
Yes.
crashing to the ground, and Dawn never skipped a beat, kept talking. It was kind of like a preview of coming attractions.
I know where I come from, that's not a big thing. I hate to tell you, in my ill-spent youth, that would be nothing. We did finish it, though, didn't we?
We did, absolutely.
Pat invited me on as her first guest to the Inside Scoop, so she wasn't. She's saying, "What if I got nothing to say?" Oh, I know. I'll invite McKinnon, and he won't shut up. So, and I didn't, and we got the whole
Oh,
thing
we
done.
did, we
Yeah.
did. Mhm.
But what I'd like to do now, though, when I do retire, besides, I'd like to keep doing the one a month. But I'd like to do what I call a chronicle instead of the history of different events, maybe capsuling them and finding out in the town of Raynham. And then maybe that could be presented on the cable, or
Sure.
maybe it will in, when as soon as what am I going to learn how to do, Catherine? The Google? No, not the Google. Huh? No, I got to learn. No, the thing you talk to it and it prints for you. What is that?
Oh.
Dragon. I got to learn to do Dragon. To Dragon. I got Dragon. I just don't know how to use it. It's in the machine, but I'm not.
Well, speaking of special attractions too, Don, we want to make sure we mention to everybody too that we have an election coming up, town election in Raynham, Saturday, April 28th.
Yes.
The polls are open from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And at 8 p.m. we go live with the election results. It's called Saturday Night Live.
And
Raynham Saturday
winners and
Night Live.
losers are invited.
Oh yes, anyone.
And,
yes.
we
Winners, losers, everyone.
We have a board that we keep track.
Mhm.
And if
And
I get it, it becomes a challenge. doesn't it? But we have two kinds. We have the selectmen, which 4 qualified candidates are running, and planning board, 2 qualified people are running. So we've got a race. Some days we don't. Sometimes
And then we
there's
have
not.
other people that are running unopposed, and you never know. I mean, Blank sometimes
Barbara
does
could
very
lose to
well.
Blanks if she's not careful.
That's right. So hopefully
She
everybody
runs
will.
for the cemetery. She digs up the darndest things to do, honest to goodness. And she's on the other one, too. She's on more boards now that she's retired.
Well, time is ticking away, Don, and we're going to be heading to that for that documentary very soon. But we've got a couple of other people we want to
got
talk to.
Barbara on, right?
So we thank you
Patrice
very
on?
much. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Who's up? Patrice or Barbara?
Yeah, Patrice. Our guest right now is Patrice White, who is Raynham famous for writing the history of Raynham. And you were actually, I think, one of our guests on the first episode of The Good Old Days that we did. And we thank you for joining us. Are you excited about this documentary?
Oh, I am. I am. I wanted to come, and I thought I wasn't going to come. Then my son, who was on the cultural council, said he was coming, so I invited myself to come here with my son.
Excellent.
So here I am.
Excellent. We have cake and soft drinks, so if anybody's still watching, it's time to come on down. We're going to be here till 8 o'clock.
There you go.
Now tell us about what are you most excited about this? What are you looking forward? Any particular interview? I know, obviously, you were interviewed.
My
but
own, of course.
anything besides that you're really interested in? I understand Alan actually went out of town to talk to the Wampanoag Indian tribe, and actually I think the Mass Historical Society in Boston, and lots of interesting information he dug up.
He did good research. He really did. He worked so hard, and it did take a lot of time, but he put the time in willingly, and people responded. It was good.
Absolutely. And you know from the research you did for your book how much time that takes.
Oh, it does. It does. At first, it's easy because everything is new when you're writing the research down. Then after a while, you're reading some of the same material, and you read for hours to find one new fact. But it was fun.
What do you think, Pat, is so important about Raynham from a historical perspective? What kind of sets Raynham apart?
The
would you say?
people.
The people.
I
Okay.
love Raynham. I like the people. I think that even though we have grown considerably, we still have a small town quality,
Right.
and I like that. And I think people come here because of it.
And we still have some people in town that are relations to those first settlers, actually.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. My husband's great, 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 and whatever grandfathers were all born here in Raynham. In fact, one of them was born before we separated from Taunton.
See
Before
that?
we became Raynham, he was born in Taunton, and then the rest all in Raynham.
Very good. So we're going to pause for just a moment, talk to somebody else, and
Yep.
in just a few minutes, should be ticking down the time for the premiere of the documentary Raynham.
There we go.
Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
Jerry Gibbs is another member of our RACAM.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. What's this? Are you excited about this?
Oh, this is great. Being a fairly new member of the Raynham community, but 10 years, I feel like, a newbie. I'm really looking forward to finding out some of the history. I knew that we were part of Taunton at one point, but that's kind of where my